Hi everyone, Professor Gibson here. Wanted to just discuss the personality writing assignment briefly. Why do I have this? Okay. Um, so what you'll do is you'll first click on the link to take this test. And I do believe you have to make an account and it'll basically walk you through it and you're going to take a personality test. And one thing that students forget sometimes is to take a screenshot of that test to put in your assignment. Okay, so you're gonna write a little paper about it. The results that you got, 4 of the personality components, how this can be used in your personal or academic life. So, one of your personality traits, how's that going to help you at work? How's that going to help you in your personal life? Address your thoughts on employer use of personality test. This is just opinion. Make sure you're hitting everything on the instructions and the rubric, because as I go through grading, I'm just kind of crossing it off. Some questions here. So 2 pages of content, double space, that's APA format. Does not include title page or reference page. So you need a title page and a reference page, but this 2 pages does not include that. And it might sound like a lot, but once you get into answering all these questions, it's not. And you can, of course, go over 2 scholastic sources minimum. Include the results as an appendix after the reference page. So that's where you put your screenshot or whatever of your personality test itself. And then APA formatting. So for the scholarly sources, if you could find an article, a journal article about personality types and, nursing, or personality types and personal lives or something like that, and integrate those a little bit into your paper. And then also you'll have the personality test. Okay, so introductory paragraph. Another thing I wanted to say is that I know students know not to use AI, but some students get tripped up with Grammarly, for example. Free Grammarly is okay. Paid Grammarly is not okay. So anytime you put your thoughts into a program and it writes sentences for you, that's no longer your intellectual property. So my advice would be just open good old Microsoft Word. I know a lot of students nowadays like Google Docs. You can do that too, as long as you convert it to a PDF before you upload it. But just open Microsoft Word. That's going to be all you need as far as spell check and grammar check. Okay, so it has to be in your own words, even when you're citing. So let's say you're talking about one of your scholarly articles and you say, okay, I scored high in conscientiousness, which is good for nursing, Smith 2025. You're still going to paraphrase that. You're not going to quote it. So it's okay to cite things, and I'm actually going to look for those. You're going to have your at least 2 scholarly sources. So let's say, Smith et al. And Jones et al. I'm going to see those at the end of your paper. And one of the first things I do is go back through your paper and look for the in-text citations. So I'm not as concerned with, did they cite every single thing that they should have, but are there in-text citations consistently? Anytime you have a statistic, you should have an in-text citation. Just think about, as I'm reading it, I'm going to be like, where did they get this information? Is it common knowledge? Did they get it from a source? It's okay if they got it from a source, they just need to cite it. Okay, and then the rubric here, you can even find, I found an article, maybe I'll post it. It's not scholarly though, but there was a lawsuit several years ago. The company Rent-A-Center was making their employees take personality tests, and I think specifically they were using the MMPI, the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory. And the MMPI is notorious for detecting mental illness. Some of the questions on it are very bizarre, like about seeing things and ghosts. So anyway, they were made to take this personality test, and they sued Rent-A-Center because they were like, what does this have to do with my job? I work at Rent-A-Center. And they won. So if you want to go that route and look for sources that talk about personality tests in the workplace. It doesn't have to be positive. For example, Myers-Briggs is trash. There's nothing really reliable about it. So, when you're using sources and writing your paper, it doesn't have to be, oh, I love personality tests and they're so reliable and we should use them in the workplace. You can argue against that as long as you have sources. That's fine. Let's see, the appendix, professional language, grammar and punctuation, but definitely in your own words. So don't worry about, I feel like students these days, the reason they get sucked into using AI is because they think that their paper has to sound super professional, super awesome, and they're using a thesaurus and they're looking up synonyms. You don't have to do that. I want you to talk about things in your own word. Part of learning is being able to read something and then synthesize it and put it in your own words. And as a matter of fact, it doesn't say anything about your textbook on here. But your textbook could be one of your sources. So there you go. You only have to get one source. You can certainly get more than that. You can do your textbook and like 2 external sources. That's fine too. Okay, thank you.